This video lesson is on solving inequalities, one-step and multi-step. So one important thing we don't want to forget is if you divide or multiply by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality sign. So one-step inequalities should be fairly easy. We're going to solve these just like we would a normal equation. So in example 1, I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. I leave the inequality symbol the same because I'm not dividing or multiplying by a negative number. And looking at example 3, I'm dividing by 3. Again, that's a positive number, so I'm going to leave my sign the same. Now looking at the negative rule, let's say we're looking at example 5. I'm going to have to divide by -8 on both sides, but I divided by a negative number, so I'm going to flip that sign around. So my answer will look a little bit different. And the same rule applies for if you're multiplying by a negative number. Now, two-step inequalities, again, they work just like an equation. You just have to be mindful of that negative flip rule. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So 4x is greater than 12. Divide by 4, and x is greater than 3. I'm leaving the inequality symbol the same because I didn't divide by a negative number. Multi-step inequalities. The first thing I'm always going to want to do is distribute. Then I can combine my like terms, get rid of addition and subtraction, and then last but not least, get rid of multiplication and division. So I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to have 12x minus 36 plus 2x is greater than 6. So I'm going to combine my like terms. So I end up with 14x minus 36 is greater than 6. Add 36 to both sides. So 14x is greater than 42. And then I'm going to divide by 14, which is a positive number, so I can keep my sign the same. And x is going to be greater than 3. So distribute, combine, get rid of addition and subtraction, get rid of multiplication and division. And we'll do one more example with some work on both sides. So the first thing I'm going to do is distribute. So that's 8 minus 4x is less than or equal to 5x minus 10. And I'm going to want to get both of my variables on the same side. So 8 is less than or equal to 9x minus 10. Add 10 to both sides. Divide by 9. So x is greater than or equal to 2. We can flip this around so that it looks like this, but if you're going to flip it around, remember to flip your sign. So remember that you're only going to flip the sign if you divide by a negative number or if you multiply by a negative number. If you divide or multiply by a positive number, you can leave the sign the same way it is. So that's why I didn't change the sign here. So again, very similar to equations, you just have to be mindful of that rule for flipping the sign with inequalities.